Welcome to the Cousin the Way podcast. Just want to thank our sponsor, GW Services, for sponsoring this video. I'm joined by Tim, who's part of the Stonescast podcast for Wealdstone. Thank you for joining us, Tim. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm looking forward to it. My head's been full of marine for the last couple of weeks, so nice to get it out there. Really,
I've started to forget about the game, to be honest, and I'll probably think more about after file. But yeah, it's hard to put it to the back of your mind, isn't it? Because it's such a big game. I mean, how has your season been so far? I would just describe it really.
Well, it's a real case of overachievement. When every season starts, we'd be so happy just to avoid the relegation slots. We did it on the last day last year, and with a new manager coming in the summer, Sam Cox, we thought, can we possibly strengthen the team enough? Can we get the bodies in to have a decent season? And it was fairly underwhelming, our signings, but they gelled right from the first game, really. We won our first three. We're top of the table by the middle of August. And so from that point, that was what we needed, put the foot down, the acceleration. We zoomed through that first month.
Yeah.
We lost to Rochdale and Carlisle and York not long after. But then they're the teams that we'd expect to lose to. But we've done amazingly well. We're 11th at the moment, and there's good chance that we can stay there, which will be our best ever season in the National League since winning it 41 years ago.
Oh yeah, but I was just to be honest, I was just reading up just before we did this, to get some info. I do know Wealdstone I do know them, but obviously you don't know the history and all that. So I was reading up about it being 40 years. I mean, I'm right in thinking you're semi-pro, aren't you?
Yeah, we've got a sort of hybrid model, so we're more pro this season than ever before.
Yeah,
but we are still one of only, I think it's Tamworth is still part-time, maybe Boston, but there's very few part-time clubs left these days. Whereas when we won the league, everybody was part-time.
Yeah.
Days before teams came down from the Football League. So that was the model in those days. Your plasterers and your bookmakers and your electricians.
Yeah.
That's what
it's a different world now, isn't it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, do you feel like your teams have to be like that, like high, if they're not like professional? Do you feel like they need to be that like hybrid going into professional?
I think we're like similar in size in many ways to Marine, except we happen to be one division higher.
Yeah,
because they're both very sustainable models. We don't spend all our money. We're not going to go bust.
Yeah.
Neither are you. Both very sustainable clubs on the face of it.
Yeah, I was just about to touch on that. To be honest, I was looking at Wealdstone. You've quite right to mention, aren't you, that both teams are very sustainable. I noticed when I was looking, as I just had a quick look at that, I noticed you spent quite a lot of time in like the lower divisions, and then you've obviously risen up to I know you said you were there 40 years ago, but you were in the like NPL version down south, isn't it?
We had a spectacular descent from greatness because we had to sell our ground. We overreached ourselves. One time the club was in debt. We ended up on selling our old ground at Lower Mead in the middle of Harrow. And then we embarked on ground shares bizarrely at Watford. We had half shares in Watford's Vicarage Road, 30,000 capacity, when our crowds were about 600.
Oh, yeah.
Complete nonsense, a vanity project by the chairman in those days. So we then set off. This is a Wealdstone history lesson. We then set off.
I think
we went all the way down to the Ryman League. I think it's about 7 divisions drop we took in the space of 10 years.
Yeah, it's been some rise, hasn't it? I mean, the first thing I heard about Wealdstone actually is when we were down the low divisions. I don't know if you remember a player called Liam Golden. I think he used to play for Marine and he went to Wealdstone. I think centre back.
Yeah, he was not a big player. I think he came back and played against us for Warrington or something like that in the
yeah.
Years later. But a good footballer, yeah. And he wasn't a big lad, was he? But quite.
No, he was. I'm going back a few years, like just when I first started watching Marine. It was only that I went from Warrington. He played for us, went to Warrington. I think he went to play for Wealdstone for a bit. I mean, obviously the FA Trophy. I mean, you've had. I think it's that you beat Dagenham, Forest Green, and Kidderminster. Have you obviously the Forest Green one stands out because obviously they're in the playoffs, aren't they, in the National League?
If you talk to any Wealdstone fan, they always lament the fact that we get drawn against the highest ranked team in the competition, and that's exactly what Forest Green were. I think were third in the table
Yeah,
and had lost for months by the time they played us. And we went there and best performance of the season, probably won 3-0. That shocked Robbie Savage, their manager.
yeah,
Put the skids under them for a couple of months. Actually, they've been really poor since then.
yeah. But
And
we've
of
got
course, they played us last Saturday when they beat us 2-0. But yeah, our trophy run started in earnest, really, with that game at Forest Green. And then we drew. Dagenham weren't an easy team to beat. They're one of our bogey teams.
yeah.
But we overcame them. And Cheshunt, who are another low team in the round before that. But
Oh, sorry.
Kidderminster was a tough one.
Yeah,
And again, probably quite possibly the hardest draw we could have had to travel to Kidderminster.
yeah.
But we took over 500 supporters there. We had a fantastic afternoon.
Yeah,
We
yeah. I did see the highlights on the penalties, and yeah, it's very similar to when we beat Tamworth on penalties. Jubilation in the stands, wasn't it? So but yeah, they're the
Oh
days
yeah.
you remember, aren't they? Really?
Well, it's extraordinary. I think we arrived there thinking, well, we'll have a nice day out. We'll spend a nice time in the pub by the railway station. We'll have a cracking afternoon, catching up with people that you often don't see at away games.
Yeah, yeah,
Then it went to penalties, and we thought, well, we never win on penalties. We're hopeless at penalties. And they were exemplary at penalties. I think we scored every one, and the keeper saved the last one. Dante Baptiste
yeah.
became the hero, and we were just standing there, looking, laughing like loons. Really, I couldn't believe that we'd won that in that manner.
Yeah, yeah, because they're a good team, Kidderminster. I mean, we played them before Woking. I mean, I don't know whether our minds were on that game fully because obviously the Woking game was like a couple of days later, but they give us a bit of a doing over 4-0. So certainly before then we have had some good results against them to be fair, but obviously it's definitely not an easy place to go to, is it really?
Oh, it's a horrible place. Well, it's good for non-league fans. It's great. Two big covered ends,
Yeah,
really good atmosphere. I mean, the team were back from minute 1 to 90 and would have gone to extra time. We'd have carried on then. But it was amazing, absolutely amazing. But tell me your honest reaction, Michael, when you had the draw. You knew there was only 4 teams in it, semi-finals.
well, I definitely didn't want Southend, I'll tell you that. I did. A lot of Marine fans probably wanted the Southport one, and I didn't, to be honest, because I just think it's a cup game. It's a rivalry. One, we'd never hear the last of it if they beat us, and two, I don't know. I just didn't want it. I don't know. Really, can't really say why, but I just feel like we've beaten them the last few games as well, so we've got a good record, and I feel like one day it's going to come to an end. We've beaten them. I
Yeah,
think we beat them the last 3 games, or three the last 4 games. Sorry, so we've got quite a good record on them. But no, I didn't want them. I would have preferred a home tie, but so yeah, I did want Wealdstone, if I'll be honest, but that's not any disrespectful way or thinking we're going to win. That was just I didn't want Southend and I didn't want the local derby, to be honest. So yeah,
yeah.
as I said, I did want the Wealdstone. I'm excited to go and watch Marine away in London as well. So but yeah, I would have preferred that home, but then there's added pressure at home, isn't there? Which I'll probably allude to with yourself. But yeah. If my choice was Wealdstone, but again, I want to make clear it wasn't down to me thinking that's an easier game because that definitely isn't an easy game. But the two reasons it was that basically Southend, I felt like it would be a real struggle against them, and I felt the Southport game just brought different challenges. Do you know what I mean? Local derby and all that. And I just if we played them, I played them in the final if we win.
Yeah, that was a very strange few days though. After for Wealdstone beating Kidderminster and for you going through as well, both team supporters were just having everything. All the conversations were about who we could possibly draw.
Yeah,
We are all convinced that we again draw the toughest team,
Southend. Yeah,
Southend away, and then of course there was the rank hypocrisy amongst supporters when we thought, well, it's a one-off game. Why is it a one-off game? Why is it unfair that we could be drawn at Marine and not have many fans there because of
yeah, for sure.
or at Southend where there's 10,000 people there
Yeah,
screaming their heads off and they'll probably suppress our allocation.
yeah,
And then, of course, when we found out we were drawn at home, number one, and then number two against possibly the team we'd have chosen, Marine, all that went out the window. We said, oh, it's a great idea, only having one game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's not been explained to me why the FA Vars has two semi-finals, first and second legs, and yet the
Yeah, I
trust.
don't understand that, to be honest. As you said, I think it should be a two-legged draw, isn't it? Because I feel like it is a bit of a disadvantage, isn't it? Because obviously the teams have got to the semi-finals on merit, and it does feel like a bit
Yeah,
disadvantage to team that
it can
gets
be
through.
yeah, it can be a huge disparity in the clubs playing, and it's a big advantage to be at home, number one.
Yeah.
And we're very pleased with that, obviously. So as I say, that argument went out the window as soon as we heard the draw.
Well,
But then our next question for you is how many? Obviously, you've sold out your 600 allocation.
yeah,
Is there some thought about because Liverpool could be in the FA Cup final, couldn't they, the previous day?
yeah.
Is there a link between Liverpool and Marine? Would people come down and watch both games? Do you think?
There is and there is a bit. Obviously, we're next to Liverpool and Everton. But yeah, we do get a Liverpool and Everton fans who come and watch maybe and kind of thing. Some probably have come down. For the game they might do. Do you know what I mean? But it just depends because our support is one of them. Like I mean, we can have big support in them sometimes. Not like we went to Telford, took about 60, something like that. I think that will come more into play if we got to the final, and I believe the FA Cup finals on the Saturday. And
That's right.
yeah, so if Liverpool got to the FA Cup final, big ask because got City away now. But if they did, and then obviously Marine were in the semi final, I think a lot of people would go for the weekend kind of thing. So I'm not too sure it'll be as big a thing at the Wealdstone game. If to be honest, I think whoever's got the tickets are going, and that's it. I think, but I do think if we went to Wembley on the Sunday and Liverpool played on the Saturday in FA Cup, I think that would entice quite a few people to stay for the Sunday. Obviously
Yeah.
for the cup game, innit?
Well, I think your Marine fans will enjoy their non-league experience at Grosvenor Vale.
Yeah, I mean, I was
Yeah.
looking at the ground to be honest, and it reminds me of just like it's in a good way. It's like an NPL. It's not like one of them traditional like it's
Oh
a
yeah.
traditional non-league ground. You know what I mean? Like a bit like ourselves, really, isn't it? It's not like going to a Rochdale or Scunthorpe. I like grounds like that, like grounds with a bit of character as well. I love grounds like that, to be honest.
Obviously, when I was growing up and following, up to about 50 years ago, watching Wealdstone
Yeah,
first season in the Southern League Premier Division, which is the equivalent of the Northern Premier League, and we'd go to grounds like Kettering and Nuneaton
yeah,
and Yeovil and Bath and think, wow, this huge grandstands they've got and this sort of thing. And now that they're National League South teams, basically,
yeah.
all the stadiums now in the National League, a lot of
Yeah,
ex-league clubs, obviously grounds holding over 10,000, and
yeah,
it's a bit of a sterile, atmosphere, and it's another big ground that you go to. Whereas Grosvenor Valley is very tight and cozy, and you'll have a great time there. The sight lines are pretty good, I think, in that stand. Right, but you'll be packed in behind the goal.
yeah.
You'll
I
have
think,
people also one end of that stand behind the goal. There'll be home sales,
yeah,
and they're the only sales that are going slightly slowly. I think we've still got a couple of hundred still to go there, so it'll be close to capacity,
yeah. Well,
which is
I think that's what
4,100.
I think that's what Woking when Woking came to us. Our grounds like that very tight, probably even tighter than yours, I'd imagine. And I don't think they enjoyed it, like because obviously the atmosphere was quite ferocious and that, and yeah, so I don't think they enjoyed that like kind of thing. I think the only good thing for us is that we kind of used to that tight grounds, like because we play it on a tight ground, so I don't think it's going to be an issue for us. But yeah, I love grounds like visiting new grounds, and obviously I've never been to Wealdstone, so I'm looking forward to the day as much as
Well,
obviously.
we like quirky grounds rather than these custom built lower league stadiums, which are really
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's
why
it.
why is your podcast named as it is? Why is it not called Rossett Roadcast?
Oh, I don't know. So basically, the story between our group is that we started around 2016. So at the time, maybe we were only getting like 250, 300 fans, something like that. So not compared to what we get today. So we just named the Goots cousin the way. So obviously we've been promoting the club well before Spurs, and obviously when the cup
Yeah.
run happened to it, and then we got Tottenham, got more fans, kind of thing. So yeah, I thought we've bit bland. We just called it after the group rate, basically, the cos underway. So that's why that's what
So
we.
what's it named after?
It's called the cross underway. I can send you a link to it though in
No,
yes.
it's our local one of the local streets around the ground, Cross End Way.
No, it's actually basically the back of one of the stands where we mainly stand is called the crossing the road, basically.
Oh, okay.
Basically that's what we just added way crossing the way at the back of it. It's really just make it like, being known kind of thing. But yeah, there's no great thing behind it really, if I be honest.
Yeah, there used to be the Elmsley End at Lower Mead, that our old ground that is held in iconic status.
Yeah, yeah.
Back in the days of fanzines, not so popular these days. That was one of the very first in the country, and it's still carried on in our program. Here's a plug for the program, which I compile largely,
Yeah, go on.
along with Mark Hyde and a few others. So buy your program. We're printing I think we're printing close to 1,000 on Saturday, and it's a great souvenir. 68 pages, loads about marine.
Oh, brilliant.
And I had fun putting together a page with marine connections, because on the face of it, are there any connections? We've certainly never played you before.
Yeah.
And Marine have only played regional football, haven't they? So there's no reason why we should.
Yeah. That's the.
But we unearthed one of our supporters, Richard Worrell, found out his granddad used to play for Marine
Really? Yeah.
in the 1920s. And he only unearthed this. He found some medals in his mother's loft after she died, and he said, "Well, have I got a Marine medal and team pictures of when the reserve team he played for?"
Yeah.
But apparently his mother, he'd been playing away. Apparently his granddad, and his mother refused to discuss his career as a footballer. But George Savage was his name.
Oh, right, brilliant.
When you read the program, it's all about Richard discovering his granddad. He's played for Marine.
Oh, brilliant! You just never know, do you? I mean, what was like, what was your like? Yeah, actually, your thoughts on the draw when? Because I'd imagine you would have probably wanted Marine, and I don't think that's any disrespect to us. By the way, I just think like most Wealdstone stands probably wanted Marine or Southport.
I think our number one choice would have been Southport, because we had a fantastic trip there about 10 or a dozen years ago in the trophy, when we won 2-1 at Southport in the last 16, I think it was. So that would have been our number one choice. Certainly Southend, they didn't want us and we didn't want them. We've beaten them twice already this season. Southend in the FA Cup and in the league. So they wouldn't have wanted us. As I say, drawn away to Southend would have been the worst. Marine was fantastic, because we always get drawn against teams that we played before. We played Grimsby successive seasons in the FA Cup, which is a horrible draw. So to come out of the hat against a team we never played before, and we know your background, everybody remembers you from the Tottenham name, and you were very, very similar to us in terms of background in history, and in character and in pedigree, and we're looking forward to hosting you.
Yeah, I thought that, to be honest, when I was looking into it, and obviously I'd seen like you've gone from like the the Ryman League was classed as like the NPL, isn't it? You'd gone from that to National South, and then you've gone to the National League. Obviously, we haven't done that, but paths are very similar. Although they're obviously at the same level, but you're down south, more south. Very similar, aren't they? Both similar crowds as well.
Wealdstone stories, as I mentioned, after losing the ground and ground sharing with Watford, which we had to bail out of because we couldn't afford it, we ended up 1995, so 30 years ago, we had to take demotion to the bottom level of the Ryman League. And then we won Division 3, we went up from Division 2, we went up from Division 1, we won a penalty shootout to get into the Premier Division. From there, we won the Ryman League Prem, got into the National League South, and then 5-6 years ago, we got promoted during the COVID season, when the games were played behind closed doors. We got promoted to the National League. So, and that was a real shame, because we wanted to celebrate at the end of that season, but it was decided on points per game. We got promoted on points per game because of COVID. So really, really sad. We missed out, as I say, on celebrating that league win.
Yeah.
And now here's our chance. Here's our chance 6 years later to celebrate big time.
Yeah.
Wembley again. We've been to Wembley 3 times. and one on each occasion, Michael.
So that's not. I don't
But
like the sound of that. But
but
I
we're
mean,
not there. We're not there. You're
yeah,
not there.
yeah, no, okay.
That's a big quandary, isn't it?
I mean, how big? How big? I know you you said you've been to Wembley 3 times. I think you won in '85. Was it beating Boston? If I'm
Yeah,
correct.
we beat Boston 2-1 and won the first club to win the non-league double, the
Yeah, yeah.
conference and the FA Trophy. That was a terrific occasion.
How big's this? Like, obviously the build up to the game. Since the draw's been made, how big is this for like yourself and obviously Wealdstone in
Well,
general?
we as soon as we realised we'd drawn at home, immediately we thought, well, that's great because it's international weekend, so there's no other football
Yeah,
of any real degree in the London in the local area. So we'll sell the allocation. I'm sure we'll have over 4,000, which will be 3,500 home fans, which you've not seen following Wealdstone since the trophy final when we took about 10,000 to Wembley.
yeah.
And
Brilliant.
Wembley is literally 3 or 4 stops down the Metropolitan line.
I know.
It's
I'm
only a
taking
few
me
miles
little.
away.
I'm taking me little lad he's only 10, but he's just started getting into it. But his first big game he went was Cajun in the trophy, the first round, and then he went to Tamworth and he loved Tamworth, and then he's been going regular. So I said to him, we'll have to get a photo of outside Wembley just in case we don't win in it.
Oh, we go, yeah, go down, have a look at it. I mean, it's quite interesting just going to Wembley, even if you don't go into the ground.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
and one of the guys, well, it's Tim McDermott said that he's had the chance. His friends support Everton. He's had lots of chances, although as he says, not recently, to see Everton play at Wembley. But he's always turned it down. He says, "I'm not going to go to Wembley until Marine get there."
yeah. He said that. Yeah, he said that.
And there's hundreds of stories like that. Everybody you talk to has got their own dreams of
Yeah,
getting to Wembley and winning it. It's
yeah,
an
of course,
extraordinary
yeah.
thing for either club.
Yeah, no, no, definitely. I've never been, to be honest, and I'm probably the same reason. I'd only go like to watch Marine, to be honest. So obviously you feel like you're close on it, but you're not that close if you really are you. So yeah, it's just the mad one for us. But obviously Marine have never been to Wembley as well, so that's I think that's part of the drive, like for the team anyway. And also a lot of these players might only get one chance of it. You know what I mean? I suppose similar to yourselves, isn't it? Even though you're in a higher league, it's not something you do every season, is it? Kind of
No,
thing.
no. What would you if Marine get to the final? Would you go and watch the FA Vars final as well the same day? Because they
Yeah,
run 2
possibly.
days.
Yeah, because I've took the day off work because I work on a Sunday normally, so I took the day off Sunday. So I'm probably going to go down on the Saturday if obviously we make it, and then just spend the weekend there. So yeah, I probably would do that. Yeah, to be honest.
Well, come back to Russell if you make it down there.
Well,
So
I've got the
we
day
have
off. So
at our home ground at Grosvenor Vale, we have a fan zone. So yesterday we hosted Manchester City. We had 1,000 Manchester City supporters.
all right, okay.
They come down in their coaches and their cars and they park at the stadium because there's lots of pitches around the ground that you can park on. And
Yeah,
then they have, they'll have beers and burgers and what have you set off. And then a lot of them came back later on as well,
yeah.
buoyed by beating Arsenal, obviously.
I think Chorley do something similar, don't they? Like Chorley and Ali do something similar. Like when I
Where are
think
they
when they
close to? They close to Old Trafford.
Yeah, they don't. I think they do more for like it might be Preston teams like that who play Preston.
Uh,
I'm not 100% who they do it for, but they definitely do a thing where like championship teams go to like their ground and kind of stuff. So it's obviously a good thing to do, isn't it? It brings a bit of money into the club, doesn't it?
well, should Marine get through, what could be better for your guys to come down and
Yeah, yeah,
return
exactly.
to Grosvenor Vale, scene of your triumph on Saturday? It's me very tongue in cheek, and then come back again and be part of the fan zone. I mean, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, yeah,
I think we'd be pleased to do that because
yeah,
if you
yeah.
beat us, it will be fair and square.
Because I said I don't know a lot. I know a bit, but don't know loads about Wealdstone. But what I've seen since the draw, it does feel like both clubs are similar, both fan bases similar. I don't get the impression there's going to be any sort of aggro on Saturday at all. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's just two clubs who are very similar kind of thing, isn't it? So yeah, I just think obviously you're a league above, but both clubs have been on similar journeys, really, aren't they? And fan base wise as well. They all seem very similar as well, in a way.
Very similar, and I think also similarities. We're going to be missing players through suspension
Yeah,
and
yeah.
injury that day. Your guys, a couple of them seemed to come back for the Telford game yesterday.
Yeah, so obviously Matty McDonald has been. I think he's had the hamstring issue, isn't he? But I think they've rested him for a while. So he came on last 20 minutes. Saying that Jack Hazelhurst, he had a hamstring issue. He came on for 20 minutes. Both were fine. So yeah, we're getting players back. The only player, to be honest, the only player really that's out of the cup side lads is Charlie Jolly. Now he has scored like 9 or 10 goals for us this season. So he's the only one who's like a really first teamer that I'd say is definitely out. You know what I mean, kind of thing. Dan Zala's out, but he's been in and out the team kind of thing. So, but obviously you lose them off the bench, so that's a little bit of an issue. But yeah, Hubie, the centre mid, he wasn't actually injured. He had him and Potter had something. Whereas obviously they're only 16, 17, so they had to pay like he play in the tournament in Spain midweek. So that was never an injury issue. But yeah, as you said, Hazelhurst and McDonald had slight injury, but I think he get missed on Saturday, and I think they'll get some minutes off Wild as well. So, I don't know how fit they are, but yeah, it's good to see them on the pitch because they make a massive difference, really. We definitely need them.
Yeah. Well, so your injury list is not as bad as you thought. That's the main thing. So it's good news.
I won't go that far. There's quite a lot of. I mean, really, we've probably got. I can't think of the top of my head. We've probably got about 6, 7 players out injured. But we've had them out injured throughout the trophy run. Do you know what I mean? We've been missing players this run really kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, so if there's some of them players are available, they'd probably start. But we've done quite well. I think we've done really well. With the injuries we've had, we've done quite well.
You had the perfect win. You had the perfect warm up, didn't you, with the win at Telford? Bit of a smash and grab. I saw the highlights of that, and 2 quality goals. And
yeah,
right, yeah. You rode your luck early on.
Yeah. That was my assessment of it, to be honest, because I think the first 20 minutes, I think we struggled to get to grips with them. And they had a couple of chances, but I think after that 20 minutes, I thought we were pretty. I thought we were pretty comfortable, to be honest. And they had a lot more of the ball, but that was our game plan, really. Our game plan was just to hit them on the break, which obviously, if you see the first goal, that's basically the counter, and then the second goals, And Finn, the one who scored 2, he's probably our trickiest player. Like he's a winger, and you see him with the second goal, he's capable. He's very capable, kind of thing. But I thought it was quite a blueprint because that's why I said I haven't watched loads on you, but obviously you can speak better than me for this. But I think he'll go the same way and say you'll have a lot more of the ball, and we'll try and just be compact and try and hit you on the break.
Hopefully you've used up all your luck at Telford. Did Marine have a midweek game?
Yeah, the away at Fylde. I believe I actually.
Oh, Tuesday.
Yeah, so the away at Fylde on tomorrow. I actually believe your manager's going.
He is. Yeah, I can't believe I said, "Have you got a midweek game?" Because I spoke to him yesterday, and he's jumping in the car after training. Right, he would have gone on the train, but you can't get back at that time of night.
No, of course, yeah.
He says it's good for insights. Really, you need to be there. It's all you can watch. You spend all day watching things on YouTube and on telly, but
some commitment, to be fair, isn't it? Going all the way from Wealdstone to Fylde, like given that, like.
Yeah, considering if he lived in the Midlands or in the North, as some of our managers have done in the past, we had before, but a long way up there, 4 hours up, 4 hours back, probably.
Yeah, that's it.
Things. But he says you may pick up 1 point that could be crucial. Fine margins, they say, don't they, about these games?
Well, yeah, that's it.
I think it's going to be attritional, the game.
I believe it'll be close. I believe it'll be close because I've watched us now, for the last 5 years in these cup games, and we played Halifax, who was 7th at the time in the National League, and we were in the NPL, and we were just outside the playoffs as well. And we got a goal, and we just seen it out. So Marine, there's no doubt in my mind, them players will give everything, and I just can't mean, you never know. You could end up getting a beaten, but I just don't see that, to be honest. I'm not saying we're going to win, but will definitely bring a big fight to the game. Do you know what I mean? From what I can see with the team. And as I said, I thought Saturday was the blueprint, really, of like, if we are going to win, that's how we're going to win. You know, because because we've done that all season, and basically a lot of clubs sit there and go, "Oh, you know, you were lucky, you were this, you were that." Well, we've done it countless times this season, so at some point you have to say it's not really luck. You know, obviously, Telford had a few chances and all that, but this is what we do to teams, and you don't teams don't like playing this kind of thing, but. We've got like the third or fourth lowest budget in the league, so it's like, you know, you have to play to your strengths.
There you go. That same as Wealdstone.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably low budget, really. Our budget is probably lower mid-table in the division below, National League South.
Yeah.
Truth be told, and how we do it season after season, I really don't know. But we play some nice football. It'd be a good game to watch, I think. But who's going to break who down? That's the question.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's going to be an interesting one. As I said, I see us playing like we did at Telford, and it basically is how we do play, to be honest. And it was how we played against Woking. We worked them out. We got a goal from like our manager. You know, assessed that Woking weren't very good at defending crosses. Our goal comes from a cross, and then we basically went to them, try and break us down, and they couldn't. And that's, you know, I don't see us going out there, you know, trying to go toe to toe with you in terms of football wise, because I don't think we'd win. Do you know what I mean, kind of thing. So it will be how we played at Telford, really. And we're capable of it, as I said. You know, we went to Tamworth with a very depleted. We're a lot stronger now than we was when we went to Telford. And when we went to Telford, we had crippling injuries. We had our striker was out for like 2 months and just came back and wasn't fit at all. We had a young 16-year-old who's done quite well, to be fair, but he started. We were massively depleted to Tamworth, and we did exactly the same to them, and they couldn't break us down, and we won on penalties. So I do envision it being very similar to that. Do you know what I mean? If I'll be honest.
Is this Bobby Grant's first season as manager?
Yeah, at Marinovic, yeah, I think he had a brief spell at Radcliffe before they got promoted. But yeah, it's first he was at Marine for about 18 months as a player, just the back end of his career. He was part of the team that won promotion to National League North. But yeah, his first season, and yeah, he's done brilliant.
There's talk at one time that he might even name himself on the bench on Saturday if you're that depleted.
Yeah, I think there was. I think someone, obviously the Marine, did an interview with him, and I just think he just said like he just can't do it anymore, kind of thing. To be honest, his last season with us, he was out injured for like 6-7 months with a knee injury, and then he played. When he came back, he started doing better, like, and but I think he was. I think he'll say this himself. He wasn't the same player before he got that injury. So I think no, I don't envision him being on the bench, to be honest.
Yeah, I should have suggested to our manager Gary Waddle to put himself on the bench. Bit of tit for tat. he had a bit of a stellar career at QPR.
Yeah, well, I think with our manager, to be fair,
but he is 64.
Yeah. If he wants to, he can.
Might be a drawback.
Well, I think with Bobby Grant, I think the thing with him is that he's got, like, if I speak about Marine, he's got every player running through a brick wall for him.
Yeah.
You just see that from the highlights of the Telford game. You know, it would have been easy for them players to sit there and go, "Oh, we've got a big semi-final next week. We won't work as hard, or we won't fly into tackles and all that sort of stuff." And no, you can see there was, you know, what he's got that team absolutely, like, every player gives everything, and I think he's got too much respect for the players, you know, that he's got, to just name himself on the bench, because you'd feel like, you know, that could, you know, be, I don't know, not seen respectfully. So I think he's got too much respect for the players for what they've give this season. You know, we're on 55 points, which is same total we got last season with 9 games left, and we're still in with a shout with the playoffs as well. So it's like, and we're in the semi-final of the trophy. So yeah, he wouldn't. I don't think I think even if he was fit, I don't think he would do it out of respect for the players.
Yeah. I think Marine are looking in the same way as Wealdstone. If either club gets to Wembley, there's quite an interesting future on the horizon, isn't it? Because you've got behind you, you've got the new stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that set in stone? Is that being
I don't know
finalised?
if it's
Okay.
absolutely set in stone, but yeah, the plan basically it's meant to be. Yeah, so I'm not too sure. I think it's getting something's happening in July. I'm not 100% on it if I be honest. But yeah, you need to move to be honest because as I said, if we would have played Wealdstone at home, we could only give you 300 tickets because I think there's only one way if you get like if you put away fans in, there's only one way of getting them out.
So
Whereas
where will the new stadium be? Is that nearby?
yeah, it's nearby. It's not that far from where we are, like kind of thing. But it's like obviously a 5,000 seater. So obviously it'd be great for like just the big away followings. Like it's just a problem when we play the likes of like Southport, Chester, any big club like you couldn't really, we can only like when we've played do play yeah Woking, we could only give them 300 kind of thing.
Well,
So
yeah, Woking.
yeah, yeah. It's just we've outgrown the stadium basically because the way we're going, we seem to be just going up and up and up. And if we ever did get promoted as well, I'm not sure we'd even be allowed in the league with the current ground. I don't think we would. I
No,
think
you'd
we'd
have
have
to
to.
if you got promoted to the National League, you'd need a 4,000 capacity.
Yeah, and I think that's an issue. I don't think that happened, kind of thing. So we've outgrown the ground as sad as it is, because I will miss Gossip Park to be honest. Because obviously, when I started going around 2016, we only used to get 200-300. Like so, obviously it's great to see the growth of the club and all that. But yeah, sad as it is, the club does need to move, unfortunately.
Well, again, that's more similarities between Wealdstone and Marine, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. That's
Our
it.
ground is not really fit for purpose, but we've got a new one. The lease on the current ground was signed for 5 years, and in
Yeah,
that time, we've got to push on and get our new stadium developed 4 miles down the road in Hillingdon, Friesland Way. So very similar situation.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
the
Some of
club,
this.
maybe the club should be twinned. Wealdstone and Marine. They do on
Yeah,
the continent, don't
yeah. I mean, I was just asked this actually.
they?
Obviously, you touched on you've been in the league, haven't you? The national, this your sixth season in the National League, the top
Yeah, it's
division.
more than ever before. Even when we won the league, we were relegated 2 years
Yeah,
later.
and I've noticed also that your home record seems to be a lot better than your away record. So I'm guessing you're quite happy you have home. But you, is there any reason for that, or is it's just the way it is, really?
Well, you get the odd good win. We won 4-1 at Braintree, and then we had a couple of home wins. But then you may have noticed, our last two away games, we subsided to defeat at Gateshead by 1-0. And then on Saturday, we lost at Forest Green 2-0. So we can underperform away from home, definitely. We're not as impressive. We do tend to score more goals at home, look more creative, manage to unlock teams at home.
Yeah,
So that's something that Marine are going to be careful of.
yeah,
But then I think that's in the DNA, isn't it, of your team this season, just to soak up the pressure
yeah.
and get the breakaway goal.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, as I said, I'll speak for ourselves. Yeah, that's basically. I mean, you can never predict that'll happen all the time because if you scored a quick goal, then obviously the game totally changes then, and then we have to change kind of how we play or whatever. But yeah, we have got a. I was something I was going to say anyway, but you brought it up. Actually, we've got a pedigree of like going to places where no one will give us a chance or very little chance, and we've gone. I said we beat Tamworth on penalties. We beat Woking. We went to Colchester when we were in the NPL West. So we were in the eighth or ninth tier, and we went to Colchester and took that to penalties. That was in COVID. It was in COVID, to be fair, but even so, they're professional footballers, aren't they? Against like lads who've semi-pro, like one of the lower levels. And then obviously, I always mention the Macclesfield game because on the build up to the game, basically Macclesfield just thought it was a foregone conclusion that they were going to beat us, and it felt
Yeah,
like their players felt that as well. They felt like they just had to turn up and win. And
yeah.
again, we performed like a really high level kind of thing. So yeah, I just as I said, I don't know. I said, obviously, I think it's a 50-50. I think maybe not 50-50. I'd make you slight favourites, but I definitely think we've got a good chance. You know what I mean? Because we've got history of doing it. You know what I mean? And when you've got this
Yeah.
history of beating teams at higher level and that, you don't really go into them games fearful. If you get what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's absolutely. I think Marine. Well, Spennymoor in the Northern Prem.
Yeah, yeah. And they're spending more same
Yeah.
league as us.
So they got there last year.
Yeah,
Although in the end they were blown away a bit in the final by Aldershot, who had a really good day.
yeah.
I saw that game and also the Vase final. So it's a great day out, really, just going to Wembley. And I think either Wealdstone or Marine, we're going to love it,
Yeah.
no matter what happens.
Well, I think the way for us as well is like I was thinking this. I think this is why I haven't really thought about it too much, to be honest. I think even if we get beat, I know the players will go there and give everything, and if that isn't enough, that's fine by me. Do you know what I mean? It'd be disappointing not getting to the final because when you're so close, you want to get there, and obviously we've never been there, so it'd just be amazing just to just experience that. But if it's not enough, then I'm completely fine with that. I just sit there and think, if we finish 10th and we get to the semi final and we, we we just miss out on the day, then I still think that's been a brilliant season for Marine kind of thing.
Yeah, hell of a good season.
Yeah, I feel like the perception may be different with Wealdstone, would it? I mean, is that fair to say? If Marine were to beat Wealdstone,
I think if it's, but Wealdstone players will leave it all out on the pitch as well. You know, they've totally committed. Having said that, we didn't perform the last two away games.
yeah,
I think the fans will accept anything if they see their team have left it all out there and they've got no regrets. What I don't want is it for it to be a calamitous mistake by somebody
yeah.
that leads to the team going out. Then again, it could go away to penalties, couldn't it? I mean, that I don't think anybody would be too surprised by that. And then you've got that drama.
No. We've actually got quite a good record on penalties. I mean, we beat Gloucester this season on penalties in an early round. We obviously beat Tamworth on penalties. We obviously mentioned we have got quite a good record, and that worries me a little bit sometimes because then you think it can't it can't go on forever because I think we've won like 10 of the last 11 penalty shootouts, something like that. So, but yeah, again, penalties is luck, isn't it? So
Play for penalties. Play for penalties, mate. You need to do. Play for penalties.
I mean, what was the perception of Marine when obviously the draw's being made? I did have a quick look on your phone, like someone mentioned about us winning at Telford, and someone said something on along the lines like, basically Marine are not going to come just to roll over kind of thing. But what is the fans' perception of Marine really?
Well, as I said earlier, it was we don't want Southend, didn't mind Southport, we didn't really want, it's mainly Southend to avoid. So when we're drawn against you, yeah, absolutely happy days. We're very pleased. And as I said, then the hypocrisy of fighting against a one game semi final went out the window, and suddenly everybody's very happy with that. So yeah, obviously on paper it's a game that Wealdstone should win, but it's a cup game. Anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And obviously, last question here, really, and obviously you can ask me anything before we finish. Obviously, Wilson be favourites. I totally agree with that. I think if you went on the percentages, I think you'd have to say 60-40, maybe to Wealdstone. Use our favourites. You got a good home record, and you are playing a team in the lower league. That's how I would feel if I was a Wealdstone fan and Jordan Marine. And obviously, I feel different because I support Marine, but you'll feel
This is the first FA Trophy semi-final that we've been favourites to win. Definitely.
yeah.
When we
Stop
won,
being,
when we, when we
stop
won
being.
in 80, when we won in '85, we beat Enfield, who were the top dogs pretty much.
Nice, okay.
Fantastic team who I was reporting on because I was sports editor of the local paper in Enfield.
Yeah.
So I was being torn in a couple of directions there. But Wealdstone went to Enfield and won 2-0 in the first leg. We lost the home leg, but we went through on aggregate.
Yeah.
And then we got through in 2012, so 14 years ago. We got, as a Ryman League club, we got all the way to the semi-final and we lost to Newport 3-1 on aggregate. And then again in 2018, we got to the semi-final against Brackley. Brackley were a very good team at that time. They won the trophy. They beat Bromley at Wembley. They beat us home and away. So we've got miserable memories of those two. but we didn't expect to win. That's the thing.
Yeah,
This time, that's the danger that I see for Wealdstone fans being really upset at the final whistle if we get beaten and don't perform.
yeah.
But I
Do you
think
think?
both teams will also perform. I think that's a given.
Yeah. Do you think that adds more pressure, like on? Because I think it definitely would on Marine. If Marine were at home, I think it would have brought a lot of pressure. Because then I think a lot of Marine fans would have not expected to win, but being very confident to win in at home, especially when you look at like
You see these cup upsets like who's it? The other Maidstone won at Ipswich, for example. They are just on the break. They caught teams with two really well taken goals. Obviously, Marine have got it in their locker. They can score good goals on the breakaway.
yeah,
Seem very decent up front. So it's going to be a pattern of us building from the back, playing across, sideways, bit of crab football. Although we've been more penetrative in the last month since Gary Waddock took over. So
yeah,
we'll be looking to weave our patterns, break you down, get through onto your last few defenders.
yeah,
But the danger for Wealdstone is Marine catching us on the break.
yeah. This what I was saying. Obviously before I finish, I was saying that because, and I've said they obviously did about the Telford game. I felt that was a blueprint on how we were going to play at Wealdstone. I actually think the Fylde game's actually a perfect game for us because I'm glad we're playing them because they're going to be very similar to how Telford played. I think they're going to be similar to how you play. You know, obviously playing from the back.
They've
All
got
that
a bit more
sort.
quality though, haven't they, Far? I think they're a bit
Yeah, of
more,
course. Yeah, they're a very good team, and
more
I said
clinical.
once it's going to be very tough tomorrow, to be honest. Especially with the cup game being 3 days later. But if there was ever a game that was going to prepare us for next Saturday, I think that's it because they're going to be very similar. We're not playing teams who are direct and who are totally different to what we're playing. We're playing teams who are going to be very similar to where you play. And as you said, like playing from the back, trying to get breakers down kind of thing. Do you see what I mean?
We could have a similar warm up ourselves on Wednesday night. We play Yeovil Town.
Yeah,
And it still seems amazing to me that Wealdstone will be favourites to beat Yeovil Town, who were in the Championship not long ago.
yeah. I remember.
They
I
were in the
remember.
Championship when we were about 6 divisions below
Yeah, yeah.
in the
It's crazy,
rivalry.
isn't it?
But
But
now we're playing.
that
So
was
now we're
that.
playing.
Sorry.
So now we're playing them on Wednesday night in a very similar scenario. As you say, the blueprint will be there. Yeovil will sit deep. Say, come on in. What can you do? Can you break through us?
Yeah,
And they'll do the same thing, try and hit us on the break. So yes, similarities for
yeah.
both clubs.
It's funny you mentioned that, actually, because I remember we played Scunthorpe last season, and it's quite surreal for me because I remember going up and Scunthorpe were in the Championship themselves. Can't remember. It's quite a few years back now, but when you think of Marina playing Scunthorpe here, and when we played Wrexham as well, not so long ago, I was in the team we nearly beat as well when I think it was around the time they took over. Phil Parkinson was the manager as well. And we were beating them 1-0 in the FA Cup, and they scored a 96-minute equaliser.
At the racecourse.
No, it was at our place actually. It's probably the sickest feeling I've ever had because we were I think we were in the NPL West at the time. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure he was. And yeah, they got a free kick, last kick of the game. But he hit the top corner, didn't he? And it was like, and then we got beat 2-0 in the replay. Like, it wasn't at the race course, it was at Nantwich because I think they were having like ground reservations at the time, so we couldn't play at Wrexham. So yeah, so as I said, we got history of doing it, but I don't think that means nothing on Saturday, to be honest.
That just reminds me, actually, Michael. We had a bizarre moment when we played Wrexham at home, and
Yeah,
Wrexham brought over 1,000 fans down to the Vale,
yeah,
and 1-1, and our centre half was sent off. And from
yeah.
the free kick, I've forgotten his name now, but he bent his free kick over the wall, pinged back off the crossbar to the edge of the box. The same player picked the ball up, controlled it, dropped a shoulder, cut inside, bent it into the corner of the net for the winning goal. And it
Oh,
was, you had to say, oh, what a fantastic finish, what a great goal. But then it was after the game, the fourth official said, point out to the referee, you can't actually do that. Somebody has to touch the ball. If you've taken a free kick, somebody has to touch the ball before you finish off that move effectively. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
a penalty, hitting the crossbar, putting in the rebound. You can't do that. You're offside.
yeah, yeah.
So they
It's
won by a goal that should never have been allowed. But at the time, nobody was aware of that. They hadn't even realised it was the same player, probably.
yeah, yeah.
That's extraordinary. But for that, yeah, I understand the heartbreak.
Oh, it was awful. It's probably the worst I've ever felt like. But then I suppose I've had great moments since obviously winning Maxfield in the playoff. But yeah, it was the worst feeling. There's obviously the worst thing as well. The free kick was never a free kick as well. It should have been the other way. And obviously the referees give it to them, and then he just put it top corner. And goalkeeper got the worst thing is the keeper got a hand to it as well. It's just horrible when I think about it. But
You and I will have all these emotions on Saturday, I'm sure.
yeah.
Whichever way it goes.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, so I just want to thank you for coming on. I wish I could say good luck, but I can't. I want us to win. So, but yeah, Tim, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. I've really enjoyed it.
I think we can say good luck to whoever gets to the final, really, because
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine you'll travel down should Wealdstone get to the final, but I'll definitely be there.
Yeah, that's it. And you never know. I might come. I've got the day off, so you never know.
Yeah,
But yeah, just again, just thanks so much, and really appreciate it. I know I speak for most me. I think for me fans that you were going, really looking forward to visiting and enjoying the day. And I think, as I said, I think it's going to be a fascinating game. I think it's going to be a game of two styles, really. But I do think it's going to be close. I really do. As I said, I think you are favourites, but as I said, we've got history of beating teams who were, in a higher league and and all that sort of stuff. But obviously you've got a very impressive home record as well, so that's something to be mindful. And I'm sure the manager will.
One last plug to your fans: buy a program because they're a dying breed.
Yeah, there you go. So buy a program. There's 1,000, isn't there? He said.
Oh, there'll be 1,000 printed, but it's people like a memento, and it's a fantastic product.
Yeah, exactly.
So these days, too many clubs, I think, are actually you don't have to. You used to have to produce a program.
Yeah.
But now it's not part of the FA's charter, I think they call it, where you have to have a program. A lot of clubs are going digital, or just people just don't bother again with getting cash out of their pocket. They just go through the turnstile and that's it.
And something to have, isn't it, as well, especially with it being a semi-final. No matter what the result is, you sit there with the program and go, "Oh, that's when I went."
Yeah, remind you of that great day out.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Just want to say thanks to our sponsor, GW Services. I put the link on the end of the video. But yeah, just want to say thanks very much and that's it.
Cheers, Mike.